Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo in the month of April 2020. What's going on, Leo? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well, friends. All right, my friends, how's everything in your life? How's everything out there in the world, huh? Still have, at this time in human history, facing this COVID-19 coronavirus situation. Where I am, there is a citywide quarantine going on. Stay at home is in effect. You can only go out for those groceries and, the utmost of emergencies, no social gatherings, all this good stuff. So hopefully in this big mess that we're all living in, you and your family are doing well. You and your loved ones are good. Sending out all the positive vibes that I can with the work that I do. And, just in general, hope that you're staying safe, staying sane, not insane, but staying sane, okay? Because I know it can be very hard for a lot of people to stay in one place for an extended period of time. It is a challenge for many. So if you're one of those people, Leo, you do have my sympathy, and I hope that you're going to make it through. I'm pretty sure we will. I'm pretty sure most people will. But, just in case you are affected, know that your girl is thinking about you and wishing you the best, okay? All right, Leo, let's get into it. I have shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have questions before you place an order for a personal with me, geez, that's a lot of cards. Hold on. If you have questions before you place an order, just email me at the same address. I'm only going to look at the one that came face up. Like this is a stack of cards, but you have the moon card here, Leo, that fell to the floor there. So deeply emotional time maybe. Might be an influx of emotions or some type of upheaval or secrets, deceit, manipulation, or some type of mask. Like they're showing me a masquerade ball. So something about secrets and people not being who they really are, something like that. But anyway, so in the final part of the opening spiel is I am now on Instagram at EmpathicFire Tarot. You may have seen that in the opening screen. So if you want to give me a follow over on IG, I'll show you a little graphic right about here so you can see that information again. I pull a daily oracle card over there. Eventually might do some lives over there just to see what it's like as compared to doing it here on YouTube. So if you want to give your girl a follow and, get your daily fix of empathic fire information coming from me, feel free to join me over there, okay? All right, let's get into it. Leo, Leo, Leo. Let's see that outcome. I'm going to see Leo's outcome in April 2020. Leo outcome for April 2020. Please show me. Wow, this is way different than the spread because this spread took like 30 seconds. Outcome for Leo, April 2020. Show me or stop me, please. Stop. Thank you. Oh, and I should have flipped it, but, there it is. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Yeah, of course. All right, let's get into it. Let's flip the other card that came face down. And let's get into it, friends. Let's see what's happening with you. I think this is good. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's go, guys. Please show me where Leo is in April 2020. Leo in April 2020, please show me. Well, that's the doorbell, but luckily my brother is home. All right, Leo, April 2020. Where are they? Please show me. Oh my God, this is so difficult. There's like 3 different positions. I need one position for Leo, please. Thank you. Okay. Finally, we got there. But it was like bouncing around to different locations. It was really interesting. Leo, coming into April, you come in with bum, ba, da, bum, the Strength card, your very own energy here as a major arcana. Strength card represents that for Leo. Wow. So there is this intensity. Like I'm feeling this for like, in like house cats, for those who own cats or you're familiar with cats at all. You know how when cats fight, or any dog or any animal, like a dog would do this too. Like when they're fighting, or they're agitated, like they hunch their backs up, like they round their backs, and then the fur on their backs like stands up, and it's all for cats to make them look larger. And I would assume for dogs it's a very similar reasoning. And that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling you're agitated. I'm feeling like you are trying to make yourself look bigger than you are, in terms of, in order to intimidate or to scare off or to, basically let someone else or some other, an enemy of yours, whatever it is, let them know you're not to be messed with. It's both a defense, and it's both defensive and offensive. Like, very interesting. Here we go. Come on. Oh, it's like you're not picking a fight, but if someone were to pick a fight with you, Leo, they would regret it. And that's what this feels like. And this is a general, my friends. If this is not you, if you're cool as a cucumber at this time, and you've got nothing, no bones to pick with anybody, and everybody around you is, Akuna Matata, perfect. It's for someone else. It's for, some other, because this is a general, so it can be flipped. But this energy is ready to fight if need be, ready to defend itself if need be, and is not going to be messed around. That's more the point. This is woo, it's it's subtly aggressive or subtly strong. It's strong. It's I mean it's okay. Another way to say this is, don't poke the bear. Okay, like, what's that say? Or what's that phrase mean? If you poke the bear, you agitate it. You bring out the wild side of that animal. You bring out the ferocious side of that animal. The killer instincts are aroused if you poke a bear, right? So there's a lion on this card. So you could say the same thing. So whoever is embodying this energy is like, if you poke, if you prod, if you approach it in a manner that I view as threatening, I'm going to bring it to you and you will live to regret it. There is this, again, it's like defensive, but also offensive. So if someone does have an axe to grind, Leo, if this is you and you have an axe to grind, you might take it to somebody. But I think more Leos are on the side of, don't poke the bear, don't poke the lion, don't poke the barracuda, whatever wild animal you want to put in there. Okay. There is a tension in your body, because I'm feeling this in my back. And like I said, like what I'm doing, like I'm kind of like hunching my shoulders a little bit, which is, I guess, the equivalent of like raising the hair. I don't know. But I feel like this thing of like rolling your back like a cat would do or a dog would do, in order to show a sign to a predator or to some other animal that might be, threatening your territory. Don't do that. I'm gonna have to mess you up if you do this. And I hope you understand that's all metaphorical. Like, I don't get the sense that any of you are going to, take someone to task physically. It's really more the ferocity, the intensity of the strength card in tarot can be good, can be bad. And I think it's kind of in the middle, if I'm honest, Leo. It's not meant to hurt anybody, but if you are pushed to the point of having to hurt someone's feelings, if you're pushed to the point of having to defend yourself and, be kind of vicious as you defend yourself, again, in a non-physical combative way. I'm not sensing physical violence. And if that's your story, don't do it. Don't participate. That's disgusting behavior, really. But it's this feeling of, it's like, again, poking and prodding. Because of agitation, it rises very quickly. So, in other words, suffering no fools, taking no bullshit, not wanting to be bothered or given aggravation without just cause. Like if someone's coming to you with a bunch of, bullshit, you're easily going to shut them out. That's bullshit. Get out of my face. Like it's that sharp. It's that simple. Don't come to me with bullshit because that aggravates me. Here it goes. Okay, now we're getting into the deep side of this because it was very reactionary what I was feeling. And maybe that's how some of you are feeling. Maybe some of you are feeling reactionary. And like I said, it's a defensive thing. So maybe your first instinct is to go hog wild on a person, to go ham on a person if they come to you, or if there's a situation that presents itself to you and you just are not in the mood, you might want to just release the beast, so to speak. But deeper down, this is, what am I doing here? I'm stacking here, even though you don't know this, because they make me do things with my hands sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But this is stacking over and over and over and over again. You have dealt with something, you have dealt with someone, you have been gracious towards a situation, gracious towards a group of people, whatever it is, time after time after time after time, given of yourself or been permissible. You've given permission to a person, to a place, I guess, I don't know, like a company or a gathering of people. It's like, okay, sure, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. Very understanding, very gracious, very open. And then somewhere along the line, Leo has been okay, no, that's enough of that. And if it shows up again like that, mistake. So this is what this feels like. You are aware of what is possibly coming, and you're kind of in this it's like preheating an oven. Like you're hot already. You're already up to temp, right? Your temperature is already raised because you've dealt with this before. This is cycles, they're saying. This is a repeat thing that happens between you and a certain person, or you and a group of people, or whatever. Could be with yourself also. In tarot, it's a general, so it doesn't always have to be reliant on other relationships or outside influences. This could be self-contained energy, but you recognize a pattern that you've been gracious towards, again, permissible towards, bygones be bygones, that kind of, water under the bridge kind of energy. And something happens, or it just keeps coming back, and it's the same old stuff. And eventually that's okay, no more. And you're in your no more phase. And so the defenses are up. Like I said, you're a preheated oven, so you're already hot before you even get to the meat and potatoes of what's going on, before you get the details on what happened over there at so-and-so's house, right? You're already predicting the bullshit. And if you had a chance to let someone know, hey, you should not bring your bullshit over to my side of the table, because I'm going to knock this whole, I don't want to go there again. Stop. I don't want to go there again. Thank you. Because I don't want to do that, because that feels, again, it's a lot of you are in a high, what is that called? Like hair trigger. A lot of you are in a hair trigger mode where one thing, and then a tripwire, a hair trigger, whatever. Like, okay, this is like some Leos, not all of you, but a good portion of you are in this energy where you're about to explode. And no, I don't know, but it feels like very, very palpable, very tentative or touchy. Wow. So what else is happening? That's a lot. That's a lot. I could keep talking about that, but oh, some of you are just like ready to rip somebody's head off, ready to just destroy anybody who gets in your face with a bunch of crap. And it's, yeah, thank you. I'm telling you, it's because of this reactionary thing, or this thing of, before this point, I was by your side. I was your ally. I was your friend. I was somebody who treated you well, or who didn't do anything to cross you, or gave you, chances, or accepted you into my house, whatever it is. It's like this, because I gave the best of my, thank you, here we go. Because I gave the best of myself to you and you shit on it, or you treated it like it was nothing, now you have crossed me. Oh man, wow, this is deep. Now you have crossed me. And because you have crossed me, don't take that lightly. Like, some of you are like giving warnings to people. This is interesting. Because this is friends, this is family, this is people that you work with. These are longtime friends of yours. These are your children or your parents or whatever. This is a lot of different ways. And it's one of these moments where, because Leo is not normally like this, for those who don't know, for Leos who might not know themselves, or a cross-watcher who might not understand. Leo is not always like this. This is like this is like the 10% of the time where Leo is just like in beast mode and is not taking any bullshit. The claws are out, throats are getting slashed, not literally. No physical violence. I do not condone it, nor do I promote it. I'm speaking totally metaphorically, but it's like there is like this destroy, devour, show them who's boss kind of energy coming out here. And it's, again, in this reaction to, you took my kindness for weakness. You shit on the things that I offered to you. You shit on the things that I provided to you, the ways in which I supported you, the ways in which I was, a confidant to you, the investment that I made with you. That's in like business for somebody. Ooh, somebody like may have had their money stolen. Like, oh my God. Yes. Oh, like there's a Leo who is out of a lot of money because of somebody else's actions, like squandered money or absolutely stolen. Like, you gave it as an investment. You gave it with the intentions that this person was going to go do XYZ with it, and you find out they spent it elsewhere. Shit like that. Really? So let's go. What else happens? I don't want to stay here forever. What else happens? So, okay. Oh, bullshit. Okay, so you, Leo, have fortified yourself greatly. You fortified yourself, and people are feeling that when a Leo, like any other fixed sign would do, just about. Yeah, I think they're all kind of this way, as opposed to the cardinals or the mutable signs. Yeah, fixed signs are pretty bad. Like when when a fixed sign is done, it's hell on earth to try and get them to not be done. So Leo is fortified, it feels like. And outside of Leo is just the context of everything. And if I'm honest, Leo, it feels like you're watching from your fortified palace, from your fortified fortress, from your fortified living room. I don't care where you are. And you're watching what has transpired in the meantime, or what's transpiring right now. And the first thing that I'm seeing is this person or these people who have you're mutually turned away from each other. So you have the Strength card here, and then you have the Page of Cups here. So the way that they're orientated down on the board, they're facing away from each other. Page of Swords, excuse me. well, that was a slip. So Page of Swords, maybe you're dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could be. But Page of Cups is water sign, energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You don't have to be dealing with either an air sign or a water sign. It's just to give you the context. But these are faced away from each other. The woman and the lion, they're going that way, and the Page of Cups is going the other way, right? So there have been backs turned to each other mutually. However, if you know anything about the tarot and the sort of hierarchy system that exists there, a major arcana versus a low level or the lowest level of the court cards, there's a discrepancy here in terms of energy or in terms of power or in terms of perspective or standpoint, whatever it is. This Page of Cups is a nice person. Page of Cups is an earnest person. They follow their heart, they follow their whims, they follow their whimsy. They're very carefree in a lot of ways. Another way to say that is irresponsible. Another way to say that is immature. Another way to say that is reckless, right? So I say those two contrasting lists of words to point to everybody has a good day, everybody has a bad day, or everybody has flaws and everybody has, wonderful attributes about them. This person, whoever they may be to you, your child, as it is a page, it could be your own child, it could be, a relative of another relative of yours, or a friend, an ex-partner in whatever sense that means to you. But pages of the court cards lack maturity. They are the lowest of the rung, right? Goes page, knight, queen, king. So this person is starting out in some type of way. They may have been starting out in life if this is your child. This could be, a college age kid. This could be a teenager. This could be even, a child of yours who's in their 40s, but, they're still a little wet behind the ears in some type of way. This person is an apologist. And that could be what's like ruffling your feathers right now, Leo. This could be what's like got you on a hair trigger, you could hear just like ready to explode, is because every time there's trouble in this person's life, many of you see this person running back to you. Help me, Leo, or mom, dad, or, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, auntie, whatever. Oh, I got into some trouble. Do you think you could help me out? Or I know last time I said I would do X, Y, Z, and I'm sorry that it didn't go that way, blah, 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 blah. And they just have all the excuses and the apologies like that could fill an entire, thesaurus or an entire book, right? They wrote the book on apologizing, this person. And, Leo, like I said, for those who are cross-watching or not even, whoever's resonating with this, there's an energy of being fed up. And this Page of Cups, because of that lack of experience or that standpoint where they are being a page as opposed to being a knight, a queen, or a king, has not learned or has not grown to kind of shoulder their responsibilities in a way that, in a way that is sort of conducive to not aggravating Leo. The way in which they apologize, when they show up, how they show up, what they say, what they do, why they're coming back to you. Again, some of you, this person has had financial missteps that have burdened you, that have affected you. You may have loaned this person money. You may have paid their bills for them. You may have stepped up and provided them with a place to live, and they, whether it's crashing on your couch or, in some cases you might be, I've got this apartment over a couple towns over. You can go stay there. You go visit the apartment to check on this person, and the place is trashed. Like, this person, like I said before, shits on everything you've given them, everything that you've provided to them, all the help and the assistance that you've offered. They act as if it was like, they take it for granted. There you go. While at the same time, though, it could be that this person is just like a silver tongue type of person. They know that they messed up, right? And so what do people do when they mess up? They apologize. This, oh God, that's wrong. This person is sincere, but it's like, okay, thank you. They don't learn. This person doesn't learn. Or they're very slow to learn. They're extremely slow to taking on new lessons or taking in some type of advice and implementing change. Slow to change, slow to get the lesson, slow to learn not to do the same thing that they did weeks ago, years ago, yesterday. You could literally say that to this person. Didn't we just talk about this yesterday? I'm sorry. We literally talked about this for an hour. How if I'm going to let you stay here, you have to clean up after yourself. If I'm going to let you stay here, you're going to have to put in money towards the bills. And yet I see you're ordering things off of Amazon. I see that you're ordering takeout. I see that you're spending money with your friends or your girlfriends, your boyfriends, whatever, and you're not contributing to this household. We just talked about this. I'm sorry. With the sorries. See, and that, again, do not do the physical violence. If you're going to hit something, hit your own hand, I wouldn't, but don't exert yourself physically. Whoever is feeling the urge to do that, don't do that. But that's like the frustration level that this person takes you to. And this is incredibly difficult because in some of your cases, this is your kid. This is a relative of yours. This is someone that you care for and love so much, Leo. But they are driving you up a wall. They're making you feel like you are wasting your time. You wasted your effort. You've wasted your love. There it is. Do not make a Leo feel like they've wasted their love and affection on you, because that's a deep insult to a Leo. Do you know I could give this love and affection to that person over there or that one over there, or I could give it to myself, but instead I've extended it to you. I've offered it to you. And again, you acted like it was worthless, or you took it for granted, or you think that this is just an endless buffet of Leo's love and affection. I'm going to come back tomorrow and get more of it. No. This is not in, ample supply. This isn't, it's not a bottomless mimosa over here of Leo's love. No, eventually you're going to get cut off. So that's what's happened here. This is a cutoff point for Leo. I've given and I've given and I've given, and you take and you take and you take. And what do I get in return? God, right there. They're like right there. What do I get in return? 7 of Swords. I get crap in return. I get lies in return. I get manipulation in return. I get you, playing games. I'm getting you rounding me up. Involving me in your games. Like monkey. Like this is some Mickey Mouse bullshit that you don't want to be a part of. Let me tell you again, in terms of the hierarchy between these two characters that we've encountered so far, Leo, high ranking because it's a major arcana, meaning you're backed up by the divine, meaning you're backed up by the powers that be. You are cosmically given the boost, the extra oomph in this matchup. The Page of Cups, no slouch. The Page of Cups is fine, but it's measly, if I'm honest. Because again, it's apologetic, even though it might be sincere, but it's apologetic because that's the only card this person has to play. It's the only thing they know how to do is to say, I'm sorry. Or this person, again, doesn't learn lessons very well. And that's the thing about the page. The pages are meant to be students. They are meant to learn lessons. They are meant to grow. So this person is growing in some form or fashion, but not to a discernible, it's not discernible to you. At least it's not discernible to Leo. Let's say it that way. It's not discernible to the Leo that this person is growing in any type of way. And the thing that they are getting Leo involved in kind of backs it up. So I'm getting like the sense of like the person who you've extended yourself to, Leo. In some cases, they've completely disappeared on you. Because that's the other thing about the 7 of Swords. It's a sneaking away. Like, I mean, look at this guy. I'm just going to take these swords and head on out the back, guys. I'll see you later. And actually, he's not announcing that. He just goes, right? So in some of your cases, this person has completely disappeared, and they'll be back. There's this energy of return sometimes with the Seven of Swords, right? Especially if you have a long history with this person, especially if this person is like, again, your own kid, your own flesh and blood. It's very rare that you have someone who has this energy marker that I'm feeling and that they just stay away forever. Anyway. So the Seven of Swords, they sneak away, they go away, in some sense, maybe have like completely fallen off the face of the earth. And again, it's like you're not even going to thank me for the place that I offered you to stay. You're not even going to thank me for the money that I gave you. You're not even going to show your appreciation for the ways in which I've helped you. And I'm saying all this, please take it with a grain of salt. I'm not sitting here saying all Leos are going through this, and all Leos that are going through this have been gracious and very mature as they've helped someone out. No, you could be really spiteful, or you could be really, passive aggressive in the ways in which you've been helpful towards this person, or you've been wanting to extend yourself to this person. There is this sense that many that I'm connecting to have given mostly freely. Others have given with conditions, and maybe those conditions weren't fair to the other person. So I don't want this to seem like the Leo is like a saint. Nobody on this damn earth is a saint, is perfect. Nobody. So I don't want to see it in the comments. Well, Leo did this. Yeah, I just said it. Okay. So I because I'm getting this sense of like both sides are defensive to a certain degree, and both sides might be pointing the finger. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Neither of you are perfect. But since this is Leo's reading, and this is what I'm feeling the energy is mostly flowing towards, it's like Leo is sitting in a position where, all right, I did some bad things, but you really did some bad things. And whether or not that's true, whether or not that's fair, I don't know. Okay. But I just wanted to clarify that, because I get the sense of someone who's just like, hey, I'm not that bad. Sure. Hey, Leo's just as bad as me. Possibly. And so what? Two wrongs don't make a right. Like, give me a break, man. Anyway, so sneaking away, lying, deceiving, manipulating. Again, I'm gonna give you this money. You're gonna pay your bills, right? Yes, I'm gonna pay my bills. They didn't pay their bills. If I lend you this money, you're going to take care of that car payment so that, the car doesn't get repossessed, right? Because the car is in my name anyway. Yes, I'm going to pay the car note. You don't have to worry. You find out you do have to worry. They threw a party at the house. They went and they spent it down in the casino. They went traveling down to Florida for spring break, and now they came back in the middle of a pandemic. Okay, that's a possibly ill-timed joke, but I'm trying to break this up for my well-being, because this is a very intense reading, and it's super aggravating for the empathic person in the room, me. So I just get the sense of this person acts irresponsibly, and then they kind of go ghost, disappear for a while. And in that time away, perhaps they lick their own wounds, or Leo is licking their wounds, and maybe in time things will get better. Maybe in time I'll be able to come back and get in Leo's good graces again. And for many Leos, again, I said it when I was talking about the Strength card, have given this chance over and over and over again because of the love and affection that you do have for this person. You don't wish this person ill will. If I'm honest, if anybody's worried about that here, I don't get the sense that, and I mean, okay, I laugh because it makes sense to me. Leo can really dislike a person, even if they love them. And that's natural for most people. That's not exclusive to Leos. But Leos do it often. If I love you, I love you. But if you get on my nerves, I'm not going to pretend that you don't. If you've hurt my feelings, I'm not going to, let that skate by all the time. There are times where I'm going to have to show you or vocalize to you or express to you that, yeah, for everything that was going on previous, that was cool then. Here's the new news. Here's the new normal. You have messed up with me. This is not right anymore, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Something like that is going on here. Lord, I'm getting a drink because I've talked a lot for 30 minutes, or what is that, almost 35 minutes? So what happens after that? Because the Seven of Swords with the Page of Cups is not a great combination. This person is, this person might have certain debts and wow, pick it back up. They're like, okay, give it back. All right, Leo. Here's the inside track that some of you don't know about. Some of you know this. This person, your friend, your child, whoever, your business partner, they have a whole different setup, a whole different life, a whole different set of responsibilities and obligations elsewhere that you are not aware of or that you don't have the details about, that makes them go, that causes them to behave a certain way with you. Now, I'm getting for some people an actual financial debt that this person has kept secret from you. This is made more difficult if you guys live together, if you guys are close in proximity together, or you share a business together. This person has some type of financial burden, and it's like ridiculous, like thousands and thousands of dollars that needs to be paid stat, or that keeps going into default, right? And this person hasn't revealed that to you, that they have this financial obligation, or they have a certain, in some cases, it's quite scary. Like in like one or two cases, it's like personal debts, like that debts they owe to people, in a very dramatic sense. Like, and I'm trying to be facetious with it, and I hope it's not true, but it's like owing the mobsters money, like owing money to a loan shark. Like, it's different when you owe it to Citibank. They just send you a nice little letter that threatens to hurt your credit report. When you owe it to a loan shark, you might lose your kneecaps. You see what I mean? So this person doesn't reveal how serious their debt is, how serious their troubles are to you. And that is why they aren't necessarily the most mature, or not in a place to exercise and act in a mature way, because of what they owe somewhere else. What else happens? Because we're going to be here all night. So there they are again. All right, here's the deal. Listen. Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. This person, Leo. Again, here's where that financial story was coming from. Poverty. Now, I'm not saying this person is poor, not at all, but I'm saying they have a poverty outlook, mindset. They view their circumstances poorly. They view their circumstances, financially speaking, or in terms of their security, in terms of their physical wellness, either their health or like where they live or how they live, their lifestyle maybe. They view it as being not healthy, not stable, not secure, right? The Five of Pentacles is about struggle, strife, of scraping the bottom of the barrel, scraping pennies together, feeling as if you are out in the cold. That's the traditional, one of the cliched phrases that we tarot readers use for this card, out in the cold. On the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you'll see people out in a snowstorm, and much like what you see here, they have the lights of a cathedral right next to them. So there is this sense of like, living a certain way or behaving in a certain way, but that possibly not being the reality. Reality is a matter of perception anyway, right? I mean, if you think about it. And we could argue that in a philosophical debate out off camera somewhere, but reality is sort of what every individual perceives. And so when I first said the word poverty, I said that speaking to how they think of their life or how they see certain aspects of their life. That is not what it looks like from your standpoint. You know what I mean? So again, to apply this to those who you have a kid, however old this person is, again, they could be an adult child of yours, or they could be a teenager, a young person who lives with you, right? Going back to the page, because this is the page. They think of themselves as being impoverished, in need, not having enough, not having stability, not having enough money, blah, 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 blah. And you, Leo, the adult, I'm speaking specifically for those who have children. You being the person that has raised this person, however old they are, you might literally tell them, listen, why do you think you are poor, quote unquote poor? You might ask them, why do you think this? Are you living on the streets? No, I give you a place to live. You live with me, don't you? Or I let you crash on my couch, don't I? I let you live in that apartment that, I have rented for you while you're away at college, don't I? And the tone, however you're expressing this, it could be quite adversarial. I don't know. But it's like, from your perspective, Leo, from where you're sitting, it's like, no offense to anybody, truly poor people don't live the way that you are living. Don't have access to what you have access to. Me, or your brother, or your sister, or your mother, or your cousin, or your best friends, or anybody else like that. To be truly poor, this is Leo talking to the Page of Cups, possibly. To be truly poor, you would have to have so much less. So much less. But this is, again, perspective. This is about perspective. What is actually true? What is the objective truth? I have no idea. But your vision of what the Five of Pentacles is in regard to the Page of Cups, Leo, ignorantly or not, or rightfully so or not, I cannot tell you, you don't see it that way. But the Page of Cups, they tell you, well, I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this at my disposal. I don't have that at my disposal. I don't have enough money for this. I don't have enough money for that. And you're kind of like, but you are not living on the streets. And that, again, it's about perspective. Your version of poor, or your version of what it looks like to have this, is different than them. And that is possibly a bit of a hang-up, or a bit of a contention between the two of you. I'm really sensing, if I'm honest, like this child and parent dynamic where you have raised a child, no matter how old they are, and they don't have, from where you're standing, Leo, you think that the way they view the world is like alien. You don't understand it at all. We live in a nice house. We live in a nice part of town. How could you think that we're poor? How could you think that you don't have enough of anything? There's food in the fridge. There are clothes on your back. You have a car. It's my name on the car, but you have free reign with that thing. Like, I don't want to use the word spoiled, because I don't think that you view this person as spoiled. Entitled. There it is. That is the word. Entitled. Possibly. I mean, I guess that's the same thing. But, splitting hairs really, in terms of semantics. But it feels like Leo's view of what this person is going through, or how they view themselves or their circumstances, is totally different. And that's kind of neither here nor there, because Leo, I really feel if you had this discussion with this person, it wouldn't go anywhere. So you might as well not involve yourself with it. But more to the point of what I was talking about earlier, some of them have an outside issue that makes them feel poor, or indebted to, or in debt of, something like that. I can't get my head above water because I do have personal debts with a loan shark that you don't know about, mom or dad, or God forbid, husband or wife, right? Because that's I don't see too many cards of like commitment here, but that is a possibility, just to play, the numbers, just to play at the probability here. This could be a partner of yours in a romantic sense, in a domestic sense, and they might have outside costs, debts that you don't know anything about. Oh my God, that's so deep and so sad. I don't like that. So this Five of Pentacles in general is just this person looking at their circumstances, looking at their pocketbook, looking at their bank accounts, and feeling like, I don't have enough. I will never have enough. That's part of the cycle that you don't know about, Leo. They regularly, thank you. They regularly come back to this mindset. There might be days or weeks or months or times in this person's life where they make headway and they feel good about themselves. They feel good about the progress they've made in their life, but eventually they hit a snag and they hit a setback and they get knocked back down into this mindset of I don't have enough, or I'm somehow always having to scrape together the bare minimum to keep my head above water. This is quite a roller coaster. All right. Okay. All right. Very specific. So look at the characters on this card as well. You've got two adults and a child. The female holds on to the child, and the father, or presumably the father, is, looking like a beggar. So this is like a beggar family. And I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not calling that in somebody's life, but I have this sense, okay. Okay. So in some of your cases, Leo, you might have a child or a relative or whoever, a friend. It could just be a friend. You could have someone who is in a relationship with a child or children, and that family dynamic is quote unquote poor, right? I'm putting quotes on it because I don't know what the hell poor means to you or them or anybody else. I'm just going to say it poor in quotes. So this family member, this friend, this colleague of yours, whose family is going through a hard time right now, which makes sense, with everything going on with the virus, COVID-19, coronavirus right now, right? So they could be signing up for unemployment as we speak. They could be signing up for WIC as we speak to take care of their kids, to keep their kids fed, because the father's out of work, the mother's out of work, and, bills are due, kids need to eat, right? So, and you might not know that, because again, you're in a fortified place. You're in this place of, you're just like in your little Leo fortified palace, like, okay, I don't want to get involved. I want to be agitated. And so you've kind of removed yourself or been removed from the situation, whatever it is. And there is this possibility that whoever this person is to you, the male in the card, the female in the card, the child, whoever, newfound circumstances see this family dynamic as having no money or no income. Let's say that no money coming in, right? And here in America, the numbers that they're projecting for unemployment is just like skyrocketing. Yeah. And, will people have enough money to bail themselves out? It's kind of up in the air. And so it's really putting the pressure on a lot of people. And you might not know this. Maybe you've not spoken to your child in a long time, well before anything happened with this coronavirus thing. Maybe you haven't spoken to your child, sometime last year, and they've moved somewhere else in the country. You don't know where they are exactly. It's touch and go that you see them on social media, whatever it is. So you might not know those details, but they exist. And it's okay. Thank you. This experience to the Page of Cups is very real, Leo. You have to understand that, because they've got the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles next, right? This situation is very real to them, because pentacles equal tangible things that you can observe with your five primary senses, okay? So every day they get up and they go to the pantry to feed their kids breakfast while the kids are home from school because of, everything that's going on with the pandemic. And what do they have there? They've got some cereal, maybe some oatmeal, and maybe some bread to, whip together a sandwich or something. And that's it. That's all that's in the pantry, thereabouts. And so maybe the last time they spoke to you, Leo, maybe there were some harsh words. Who knows? So there is this new reality, or there's a sudden change to this person's physical reality. Again, the things that are tangible to them, their money, their finances, their job, their home, the food they eat, whatever. It's now at this Five of Pentacles stage, and you might not know it. Wow. So Two of Pentacles sees this person having to make a choice, having to decide what to do in terms of finances, what to do in terms of their home life, in terms of their security, in terms of how they can keep a roof over their heads, how they can keep their, kids clothed and fed. Or if they have no children, if this is just them solo dolo, right? Whatever the situation is, I've got to make a certain move in my life to change these circumstances. However, I feel as though this person doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to get out of this situation, because again, in some cases, this is a debt. Debts don't get erased, not from Citibank and not from the loan sharks. You just don't go to the person and say, hey, I can't pay you. Could we just forget about this? They're not going to say, forget about it. It's no problem. Forget about it. You don't owe us 10 grand. That's all right. Your gambling debts are erased. No problem. Nobody says that. The banks don't say that. Personal loan people don't say that, right? So the debt is there. What they need to do to survive, what they need to do to pay towards whatever they owe, that will not go away, right? Really? Okay. In some, Jesus. In some cases, it feels like this is, what is that? What is that? Leo. Okay. In some cases, just a few, say this is your kid or your relative, your best friend, whoever this is, someone that you know and you care for. This person is deciding, if I'm honest, or they did decide, and it's already happened. This has happened maybe for one person already, that the family dynamic that they were in, let's say this is your kid, let's say this is your son, and your son is married into a certain family and they have kids or they have whatever with their family. Your son may have skipped town on their family. Does that make sense? Because the Two of Pentacles is deciding what to do with your physical surroundings. Again, how you show up in the world, how you invest your time, your money, your effort in whatever, right? And that Seven of Swords is a departure, is a get up and go energy, sneaking away energy. I wish you could see, I don't wish you could see my face because I'm sure it's awful, but if anyone who knows me personally, they know the face I just made. It's, Lord, it's a pain. Listen, as an empathic person, the trouble I get is being able to feel different people's motivations and different reasons why people do the things that they do, and kind of having an automatic sympathetic response, even though I know it's not the right thing to do, right? So if someone has skipped town on their family, your own son or daughter or your own cousin, your own best friend left their family in the lurch, crazy, but possible, happens. That's life. But that is a choice that someone has made or is considering to make. Either they do it sneakily with the Seven of Swords, out under the cover of night, packing a duffel bag and saying deuces, or quietly making some type of exit strategy. The Seven of Swords can be quite sudden, or it can be very strategic. It can go either way. But that is on the table when you get this Two of Pentacles facing both the Five of Pentacles and the Hermit. Oh God, please. So if it's not about skipping town, what is this about? In some cases, this is about that return to you, Leo, coming back, or figuring out a way possibly of how to get back into your good graces, or to, in some cases, get money out of you, if I'm honest, because you've got two cards of Pentacles here. And I see the ship in the background on that card, so this could be returning, traveling back home to see you, to spend time with you, knowing that maybe, or hoping maybe, let's say hoping maybe, that you'd welcome them in. And then once they're in, essentially be like, so by the way, Leo, I kind of need a little bit of money here. Like, again, because this person sees themselves not having enough. They have a lack mentality. They have a lack mentality. Combined with this, the Page of Cups and the Seven of Swords, this person has a lack mentality. Like a mother, like a mofo. This person has a lack mentality. And it's interesting because they make decisions on their own with their own interests in mind, or their own plans, their own devices sort of in the forefront of their mind, but the way that it impacts the people around them is it's like they don't know. Anything else with the Two of Pentacles? Because that's Leo, you might have the longest reading. I don't want to have to do long readings all the time, but Jesus, this is ridiculous. So, yeah. It's like, because the orientation of this guy on the card, where he's facing, where he's looking in the direction of the Five of Pentacles when you lay it down on the board here. So this person is evaluating, is thinking of a way to settle, to get out of, to rectify, to find a solution to their Five of Pentacles mindset, circumstances, debt, whatever, however it affects them, or however they're perceiving it. They want to fix it. And how do I fix it? Two of Pentacles. How do I do this? How do I do this? It's a constant thinking of how do I? And what they're turned away from, ironically, is the Hermit. Major Arcana for Virgo. You could be dealing with a Virgo, but you don't have to be. But what they're turned away from is, well, here we go. Wake up, friend. This is a wake-up call. This is a deep, quite disturbing wake-up call for this person, where it's like a do or die, fight or flight kind of energy. And as I have explained before, I get the sense of the person that you're dealing with is on a cycle. And you're right there along with them, Leo, in some form or fashion. They repeat things over and over again, and you are privy to it. You're partnered into it. You're roped into it. You volunteer to go back into it, however it affects you, okay? But this person regularly does the same thing over and over and over again, a pattern. And not that the Hermit represents this, but that Virgoan aspect of patterning, of repeating cycles, of rote. Because, that's one of the strong points of Virgo, is that they're able to create structures, create rhythmic patterns in their life, predictable patterns in their life. That can be very good. If we're talking about, certain routines in your life, gym routine, showing up to work on time, or finishing, certain projects, personal projects, and keeping yourself accountable based on a set structure, a set schedule. That's great. But when we're talking about the quote unquote dark side, or the downside, or the lower vibrational side of Virgoan energy, we talk about someone who becomes kind of like obsessively repeating mistakes. And God, there's like a criticism behind it, because Virgos in general are very, if you don't know this, Leo, I'm going to tell you, Virgos are hypercritical. One of the biggest hypercritical signs in the zodiac. Not the only one, but one of them. And when you have that lower side, or that low vibrational side, that dark side of any of the zodiacs, it turns into something that's quite nasty. So what this Hermit is here to do for this person, this Two of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Seven of Swords, Five of Pentacles person, is to show them, look at what you're doing. Look at your patterns. Look at the way in which you continually get yourself wrapped up into trouble. If this is about somebody having a gambling problem, and they're in deep with the mob or something like that for thousands and thousands of dollars, guess what, buddy? Guess what, princess? Guess what, whoever? You need to stop hurting yourself this way. You have an addiction. You have an issue with compulsion. Get into it. Hermit asks all of us, whoever needs this energy, whoever needs this message, whether it be the Leo, whether it be the other person, whether it be the both of you, whether it be somebody living on the other end of the world who you've never met before, it doesn't matter. Hermit shows up and says, look at your patterns, look at your vices, look at your flaws, look at the ways in which you cut yourself, like you're cutting at your own Achilles heel when you do X, Y, and Z. Don't do X, Y, and Z. And again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because this Hermit, I feel, also, as much as it is imploring whoever needs it to explore those depths, to explore those not so great aspects of themselves, it also gives way to going into this very, like an echo chamber, like a very dark place where no one gets in, no one gets out, no light gets in, no light gets out. And it becomes this sort of reverberating, like I said, a cycle, because the Hermit, as you can see, is carrying a lantern. He's on a very thin ledge. So it's not easily traversed terrain where he's going. It's not, first of all, it's not where a lot of people are going. It's just him. So this is some type of solo awakening, realization, change of heart, change of mind, change of behavior, and getting real with the self that someone here, whether it be you, them, the both of you, everybody involved, needs to do. And it's painful work. It is so painful. If you don't know that by now, and I don't know what you know about tarot, whoever's watching, I don't know what you know about it, but the Hermit is not a card of easy. Never, ever, 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 ever. It's very difficult. And one of the other things that I say to sort of explain why the Hermit is so difficult is, again, related to Virgo, related to sixth house issues. In the sixth house, like, one of the first things that I always think of when I think of sixth house is nursing. It is the house of nursing. It is the house of caretaking, okay? And in nursing, in this moment, it's very apt, in this moment in history, you got to make tough choices, right? Sometimes in order to heal a wound or get someone to a healing place, you have to harm them. Now, of course, that I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that nurses regularly break their Hippocratic oath. No. Let's again say there's an infection in your leg, in your arm, right? And if we don't, and I'm not trying to be, morbid for the sake of morbidity. No, I'm just showing you how drastic we have to do. You have an infection in your arm. If we let this infection stay, or there's no way to treat it other than to amputate. And you might say, hey, wait a minute, I kind of like having my arm. I kind of want to have my arm. And the alternative is, well, if you have your arm, you will lose your entire life because the infection will spread, because there is no other way to combat this other than to amputate, right? Or in the case of something so real that a lot of people live with, if you're a diabetic. Okay, so this is what has happened, possibly due to not great actions and decision-making on somebody's part. You've gotten to the point where now we have to take your foot. That is a regular decision that people in the medical field have to make in terms of treating diabetics who are not taking care of their health. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. The Hermit is here to highlight the choices that someone makes, boom, 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 how that ends up hurting them. And you need to deal with that, whoever that person is. If it's you, Leo, you need to deal with it, because again, this energy could have been flipped the whole time. I'm saying Leo, Leo, Leo. I could have been talking about the cross watcher or whatever. So whoever is hurting themselves and hurting others by proxy needs to get real and get into some deep healing. Hermit, again, sixth house energy because it's related to Virgo. Nursing, health, wellness, caretaking. That has to start with the individual. Leo, you can't do this for this person. They have to do it for themselves. You might want to step in. I do not think that is wise. And this person is going to do it anyway. If they don't, detach if you can. Now, Eight of Swords is the outcome for you, Leo. So for the foreseeable, here, I mean, what did I just tell you? You might want to step in and help, but you can't. Hands are tied. Look at this woman. Hands are tied. Hands are tied. Eyes are blindfolded. She's kneeling, so her mobility is very limited, and she's surrounded by these swords. Now, often that is a state of mind, and maybe that's so. So maybe I'll eat my words right here. Maybe I'm eating my words in because I'm telling you this is a state of mind. You might think, or it's the other person. They're like, they're like, it's true, but for them. So the person who needs to do the things feels like this. My hands are tied. I can't do anything. God, I'm going to say this phrase and I hate it. And if you've been with me for a while, you know I hate it. It is what it is. Ugh. I hate that phrase so much. But anyway, that's kind of what this person, where their head is. This is what they understand about the world, or this is how they perceive their circumstances. This is their truth. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do to help myself. There's nothing I can do to help the situation. There's nothing anyone else can do. Maybe that's also going on. Because again, I'm not sensing that all of them are going to come back to you, Leo, and asking you for anything that they've asked you for before. Some of them might stay away, right? And that's because they think there's no alternative. No one can help me. Nobody's meant to help me. Maybe they know they're the ones that have to help themselves. I don't know. But there's this feeling of I can't. I don't know how. This won't work. That won't work. I tried this before and it failed. And it's just like this inundated feeling of pessimism. Thank you. Pessimism. Each of these swords is a single thought that is anchored in pessimism. Whether that's you, whether that's them, or the pair of you together, I don't know. But it's, ugh. So for now, nothing doing. Nothing doing. There is no progress. I really feel it. There's no progress. This is a circling of the drain. As far as whoever's watching this, whoever's resonating, I mean, you make your own choices, yeah? But I'm not with it. Personally, as the person reading this, I'm not with it because all of this is like repetitive and or stagnant energy, and where you started, Leo, or whoever started here in the strength card, do you? Because, I mean, tonally, I think you understood. This is where the bulk of Leo's energy is. All of this is something that has nothing to do with you. Or it's something that you have no control over, or you have only a certain amount of influence on. Someone else is driving the ship out here. Let them drive that ship, or sail that ship, or whatever it is. Let them do it. Overall energy, the Death card, Major Arcana for Scorpio. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio, but you don't have to be. So here it is. On both sides, the change. Something's got to change here. Something's got to give here. This is about change and transformation, the Death card. Ultimately embracing the ending of something in order to walk towards and get in line with something that's new. I've said this before a couple times, and I'll try and speed it up because, again, I don't want these readings to go on forever. But look at you, Leo. You got lucky. For me, death is like a portal. It's like a gateway. Ultimately, what is on one side of the portal, one side of the doorway, one side of the gateway cannot exist once you transition through. Once you go to the other side, if we're talking about the loss of life, or we're talking about death in a more metaphysical way or a more metaphorical way, it's the same. Nothing is the same past a certain point, right? So again, just to give you this illustration, because I use it all the time. When something is alive, a person, an animal, a plant, whatever, and then it's dead, it goes from being this vibrant living being to something that is no longer vibrant and living. That is the change. It still exists. You now have a living human that is now a cadaver. Two different things, two different ways of being, two different ways of existing, right? Same thing when you talk about metaphorical death. If you change behaviors, if you change your attitude or your defensiveness or whatever, you become something else on the other side. That is the name of the game here, if anybody wants to participate, but they don't have to. You don't have to. because we all have free will. Nobody here, by the way, if you haven't noticed, nobody here ordered a personal reading. Nobody here is being addressed by their first name. So don't take it personally when I'm telling you, well, you gotta change and you better change or they better change. No, nobody has to do anything. Never in a tarot reading is anything in set in concrete. Yeah. So it's a choice. This death card is a choice. Whether you get into it, whether they get into it, it's up to the individual. I am always vying and trying to change myself because that makes sense. From the day that you're born to the day that you die, are you the same person? Absolutely not. You biologically go through changes. You physiologically go through changes, psychologically, physically. It naturally happens. Therefore, when you have the choice to change behaviors, to change patterns in your life, to change outlooks and perspectives in your life, things that you have to choose, why wouldn't you do it? Your body changes, your psychological standpoint changes, your emotions change as you grow older and go through different phases in your life. So why would you resist change? Listen, I'm not here to preach too much, but I hope you get what I'm saying. It's natural. The process of change and transformation embodied in the death card in tarot is natural. So when we don't embrace it and when we avoid it, we are therefore doing something that is quote unquote unnatural, or more apt, counterproductive, counterintuitive to the natural progression of life. Leo, that is your reading for April. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. You can leave a comment. Let me know how this reading resonated in your life. If there were there's a lot of different stories here. So if you want to let me know what the story is here for you, that would be cool. I love reading those comments. It gives me affirmation as a reader. You can share the video. A lot of people have downtime, so let your friends know what you're watching when you're at home, on your lunch break in the middle of your living room, eating a yogurt in your sweatpants, whatever. If you want to subscribe, the subscribe button is down below. That'd be great. Again, if you want a reading, that information is in the description box, and I am on Instagram, again, at EmpathicFire Tarot over there if you want to join me for those daily oracle reads. Leo, I will be back very soon to do your mid-April readings and then your May readings after that. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that button. You have things to look forward to. I might introduce a new type of reading to the channel. I'm thinking about it. My guides are like, giving me little hints here and there of what I should be doing. So maybe I'll have some new stuff up in the near future. We'll see. But until then, my friends, I thank you so much for watching today. Take care. Bye.